Welcome to the Galactic Mind Weather Report. So I'm coming to you today in the center of the White Wizard Wave Spell. It's 13 days really dedicated to the process of evolving our capacity and cracking us open to allow us to become more receptive to the light, more receptive to the inspiration and the enchantment and the magic, the synchronicity that is a very real part of our mundane day-to-day life. And today we embrace the center. And for those that follow these weather reports, you will know that this center point, the resonant tone, is all about how we can bring ourselves back into alignment with the purpose we're working on. So for the White Wizard Wave Spell, to help us realign back and help facilitate this process of allowing ourselves to become more receptive to having an enchanted life, we come across the yellow resonant sun. So that's today's archetype, the yellow resonant sun. And this yellow resonant sun is like the divine father archetype. It's the masculine. And when I think about it, I always think of sovereignty. The yellow sun is about shining the light inside you, to shine into your world, your day-to-day life, to highlight, in the dark shadows that we often like to ignore and pretend aren't there. There's all these things that we have, these habits, these behaviors, these judgments, these ways of thinking and programs in our mind that we've gathered over time, and we've kind of just swept them under the carpet of our mind and swept them into the dark places. There's the hurt, there's the wounding, etc. from our childhood and growing up, and we've kind of just tucked that all away. And the yellow sun comes in a bit like the disciplinary that comes in and says, hey, I know it hurts. I know it's a struggle. It's tough times right now. But we need to bring the light to your darkness. We need to shine the light into your shadows now, because we need to bring forth those hidden subliminal patterns that we are externalizing in the world around us so that we can blame something else. The yellow sun is here to help shine the light on these things in us so that we can bring them to the surface and release them. Or at least bring them to the surface so that we can consciously acknowledge the shadow patterns that are within us that we are constantly perpetuating out into the world around us from a victim stance. Because when we can acknowledge these patterns, when I can stand here and say, yes, I'm addicted to thinking, that's one of my shadows. It's when I can say, I'm addicted to pleasing people, that's another of my shadows. I have a mind that runs and worries too much about what people are going to think of me. So for so much of my life, I made such an intense effort with every word I would say to somebody that it would be pleasing to them and not me. And so for a lot of my life, I hid away a lot of my creativity, because I am a pirate, a poet, and a lover. That is who I am. And I've hidden it for so long because of these shadow patterns, these woundings and these things that were hiding in the shadows. And I used this work, the Mayan Dream Spell work. I used the gene keys and human design and these other self-help things to bring these things out of the shadow, bring them into the light so that I could consciously own them. Because when I took responsibility for the fact that I have created much of the trouble in my life, I've created the resistance that has prevented me from actually launching forward and living an abundant life, that I created my own struggle because of these fears and these conditioned belief systems, and that I was allowing authority outside of me. So that's schooling, parenting, society, etc., our friends, peer pressure, environmental conditions, accidents, things that have happened to us. When we allow these things to become the authority of our lives, that means when we allow these things to dictate and tell us who we are to be and how we should behave, we are no longer sovereign. We are a slave to the outside world. Voluntarily. That's the trick, not by force. And so the yellow resonant sun comes today because it wants to shine the light to say, you're stronger than that. You may not believe it, but you are stronger than that. And you won't find your strength if the world and the universe just cuddles you. Sometimes we must be firm. And as parents, sometimes we must be firm with our children. And it is one of the greatest acts of love is to actually be tough, the tough love. And I don't mean abuse, but sometimes you need boundaries, you need frameworks in order to allow that beautiful creativity to have a safe environment to flourish in, to allow the enchantment to fill a vessel. It first must have solid walls. And so I really encourage you, as I'm doing today, to really contemplate, what are you doing in your day-to-day life that helps to facilitate this vessel in your life, this safe, sacred space? What rituals are you doing in your day? When you wake up in the morning, are you caring for yourself, creating a nurturing, supportive environment that makes it easy for you to trust in the world around you, to receive the magic? You know, are you eating good, solid, healthy food that's giving your body nutrition? You know, are you relaxing? Are you getting time to meditate? Are you creating structure in your day so that it doesn't become overwhelming in the unknown? Now, each person will be different as to what rituals help facilitate that for you. But it's a good idea to take a moment to contemplate whether you are taking the time, the discipline to look after yourself, your human vessel, your mind, your consciousness. Are you taking time to do your self-work? Or are you so busy in trying to change the world around you first, with the idea that once I get this all taken care of, and then I will do those things for myself? Because if you're running that way, and I can tell you, I've been doing that for a long time. It's a very subtle pattern. I keep thinking that I've taken care of it, and then I find even deeper layers that it's hiding itself in my life. So if you're still running that, if you're still trying to get all the busyness done so that you can have space to then care for your vehicle, so that you can then, do that self-work and create structures in your life to ease the pressure, you'll be like a mouse on one of those spinning wheels. It'll keep on going. It has to come from the other way. The work, it has to come from inside. So I challenge you, be real with yourself today. Be honest with yourself. Don't abuse yourself. Be loving in your firmness. And ask yourself, where can I improve in my day-to-day rituals to allow myself proper sleep, to allow myself proper nutrition, to allow myself proper hydration, absolutely vital, proper hydration, proper vitamins. Really see where can you improve those things. And start taking steps. And it seems such a mundane thing, but there's a reason that some of the most sacred magic of the past had such intense ritual. Because that ritual creates the vessel that can contain, the cauldron that can contain the enchantment. So create the cauldron in your life. Take firm steps and be disciplined. Develop your discipline. Take steps. It won't all happen at once. Don't beat yourself up. Don't go too hard. Just take small baby steps towards creating structure, framework, and really looking after yourself. And you'll find that the more that you do this, the more you open yourself up to allow real magic to enter your life. Real love, compassion. You'll actually be able to not just experience these moments of synchronicity and exquisiteness that seem to just pass and suddenly we're back in the mundane, but when you begin to create these frameworks in your life and this vessel and really care for yourself, then you'll begin to create a cauldron in yourself that can not only experience momentarily these incredible synchronicities and magic and bliss and unconditional love and these incredible experiences, but you'll be able to hold them. And when you can start holding these things in your heart longer and in your being longer, it begins to transmute the shadows in your life. it begins to transmute everything around you. The outside world will begin to reflect your exquisiteness. So thank you again for joining me for the Galactic Mind Weather Report. And I'll see you for the next Wavespell. So much love. In Lakesh.